Okay. So guys, we have here, Sanjay sir. Okay. He's having around 12 years of experience. Okay. And we are starting this DevOps course for the first time in Triumphs Lab. Okay. Earlier, we were only into the, manual and automation. So today we are starting with the DevOps course because this is also, one of the major course in the industry. Okay. And nowadays, I think automation testers also must have a knowledge on DevOps. Okay. And DevOps, what are all the things comes into DevOps and all everything. Sanjay sir will, give the brief introduction on that. Okay. Over to Sanjay sir. Sanjay sir, is there? I think you are in mute, Sanjay Ingale.
Hello, good
Yeah.
morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, Sanjay. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Thank you. I'll just stop sharing my screen. You can share your screen and you can proceed.
sure. Okay. Please confirm my screen is visible to all.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Professor, for a quick introduction. Uh,
Sure.
so DevOps is a very fancy word, and now you see like there are a lot of every job description. It may be a full stack developer, it may be a automation tester, it may be any job description. It asks for a DevOps. So then here we will see what is DevOps first. So this is the agenda of our today's session. We will see what is DevOps, then advantage of DevOps, DevOps as a career, then salary packages and remote opportunities. And then we will go through the syllabus. And okay, so I want this should be an interactive session because I don't like a one directional session. So I will request everyone to participate in this session so that I will come to know of how my audience is, and that way you will enjoy the session. So first of all, let me know who are the uh, learners who are not aware about DevOps. If you know what is DevOps, type yes in the comment. If you don't know anything about DevOps, type no in the comments because I will twist the session according to audience. Prabhu sir, is that
Yeah.
fine?
Yes, yes, sure. No problem.
Okay.
Guys, everyone just ping in the group.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Okay.
Many of
S-
them are no.
Yeah. So this is the very important because if I don't know my audience, then I cannot like. So this is very okay. So everyone saying is no. Okay, cool. So uh, okay, no one is knowing about what is DevOps. Okay, no problem. Then first let's understand what is DevOps. So let me share a PPT where I just a second. So before knowing a DevOps, we should know what is software development lifecycle. If you don't know what is software development lifecycle or how software is developed in the industry, you will not understand what is DevOps. So let me share my screen again. Okay. So now I guess everyone can see the screen. Cool. So first of all, what is software development lifecycle? So let's say you have to requirement of a designing a website. Let's take a very simple example. So how you will approach? Let's take example. You are having a bank or any bank. Like let's take example of HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, and you have to design a website. Then how you will start? So first of all, there are two ways. Uh, One is a waterfall model, and another is a agile model. So this waterfall model, what we do analysis, like how my website will look like, what are the features I want, on my website. So this is called as a requirement gathering or requirement specification. So for example, you are want creating a website, so you should have the whatever the features, like user should see the loan option there. They should be have opening a saving accounts. So everyone has used a mobile banking and banking, so I will not go in depth, but try to understand the concept here. So whatever you have a requirement of designing a website, those will be collected from the software development team. So we call that person is a product owner or a business analyst. So these people will visit the client and they will understand the overall requirement of a website, like what features they need, uh, how fast they want, and they want a mobile application, they want a website web application, and depending on, they will collect all the requirements. And then it will take, let's say, it will take 8 days of time, because you have to sit with everyone. They need to understand their existing, if they have already a website, then it's easy for collecting the requirements. Or if they are doing it from scratch, then this person need to understand how they are doing this process currently, and then only they will start figuring out. And then this requirement will be collected, and then this will be given to the design team, that is called as a front end team. So then front end team will create a design like this, your website will look like this. So and then once that design is completed, then it will go to the development team, and then development team will start actual writing code. Then once they're done, then this will go to the test team, QA, manual tester, automation tester, and they will test it is working as per requirement or not. And then DevOps team will come into picture and they will deploy that application to the server. So this was a waterfall model. So this was a old approach which were used. So here drawbacks are the team all are idle. So let's say if you are business owners or they are collecting the requirements, then rest of the teams are idle. They don't have any work. So then if design team is creating a design, then development team have no work. Then DevOps team have no work. So you can see here all the steps are done one by one. So here is no connection between one team to another team. So once first team will complete the task and then second team will start. So this was a waterfall model which was followed in the industry. But now you can understand, let's say I have a software company and I have a 10 developers. So one will be responsible for collecting requirements, one will be designing, and two, three developers will be there, one DevOps engineer will be there, and two testers will be there. So if the first person is working, the rest of the team is idle. So this approach was need to improve. Then industry came with a, so you can see these are the disadvantages. It is difficult to estimate time and cost for each phase of the development process is difficult. So here we were having a lot of drawbacks with this model. So now here it comes agile model. So what is agile model? So agile model you have learned, right? Let me know how many of you know agile model.
Sanjay, I think everyone is having because yeah, everyone knows it.
Yeah, cool.
Ajay Scrum.
So I will not put a lot of highlight on there because
Yes,
you know
yes.
agile model. So this is my I want to understand because okay. So in agile model, we distribute the job in a small tasks, and then everyone is engaged. So then these are the responsibilities. Okay. So now here everyone knows agile model, right? So that there was again there was a problem. Though agile model improved the software development process, but then there was a problem. What was the problem? Developers were responsible to write the code, and then developers were writing the code on their machine, and it was running successfully on their machine. And same thing was happen. What was happening? Developer know in and out about the code, but then deployment team or their earlier DevOps was called as a build and release team. Their task was to create the builds and host it on a server. And then this team was working separately. So then again, there was a need of a collaboration between developers and operation team. So for example, I am a part of operation team and Prabhu sir is part of development team. So Prabhu sir will not be having the knowledge about how server configuration is done, how to create a cluster, how to host it. They will having very good knowledge about writing the codes, creating application. But then I am, let's say I am a support team guy, and I may not be having the good knowledge about the coding. So then there was a gap. So there was a need to bridge the gap between developers and operation team so that collaboration will be improved. And then there was a need of a merger of these tools. So then the idea industry came with the idea as a DevOps team. So earlier it was called as a build and release team, but now you see everyone is saying DevOps, DevOps, DevOps. So what actually DevOps team does? So DevOps team knows all the tool which are used by the developers, as well as the tools which are used by the operation team who is responsible to host the applications and that. So then here what happens, though DevOps engineers are not responsible to write the code, but they have the knowledge about the tool set which developers are use. For example, all the developers you write a code in a editor. So they may use a Visual Studio. They may, if they are a Java, then they use a Eclipse, NetBeans. So the IDE they use. So DevOps engineer know about all the tools which developers uses. So you may have know at this time, like developer works in a collaborative work. So let's say in a company, there are 5 developers working in India, 5 developers are working in USA. So then they need to collaborate. Means all developers are working on a small chunk of the code. And then they have to store the code written by them into a repository. So we call it as a Git repository. So then the code need to merge with that. So DevOps has the knowledge about the tool called a Git. Then there was again a problem. Like developers were writing a code and that was running successful on their developer machine. And let's say when that code is run on a production server, it was not working. So there may be a reasons, multiple reasons. The first is a configuration issue. Then dependencies are there. Then the problem was developer was saying this is fine. I have done my work perfectly fine. But support team were saying this is not working. So you need to fix it. So then it was again a collapse between developers and operation team. So then the concept call came as a Docker. So these Docker images, so developer what they started, if it is working on your machine, so what I will do, I will simply create a copy of your entire machine with all dependencies, with all configuration, and I will copy that your machine and I will simply use that machine to on a deploy on a server. So if it is working on your machine, so it is called as a container. So then this idea came into the industry. So now everyone knows what is Docker, what is then if it is a Docker, so we have to manage those containers. Then we have to learn the tool called Kubernetes. So then this is the process of DevOps. So DevOps is a bridge between developers and operation team. So DevOps need to know all the tools which are used by the developers as well as all the tools used by the operations. And then how DevOps team can add the value. So using automation. For example, developers create the exe file. For example, you have installed all the software, like you have installed Notepad++ or any application. So how you install that application? You create, you go to the website, you download the exe file, and then you just click next, and it get installed, right? So what is that? So that is a build. So developer don't create the builds, developer write the codes. And then using that code, the DevOps team need to use the tools to build tools. And that using that build tools, they will create a exe files for a desktop application. And this process should be automated. For example, let's uh, we are using a Notepad++ and developer write a code. And then QA team come to know this is there is a bug. So they found a bug. So they will report to the developer. Then developer will fix that bug and then he will improve his code. So then you can think of this is a lengthy process. Like then if you are sending a emails, like uh, QA team write a mail like this is a bug we have identified. Then developer will fix it. Then he will send the email. This is fixed. Then DevOps team will come and they will create the build and they will release for the public use. But again, this process will take a lot of time. So then DevOps team is responsible to create the automation. So how automation will be done? So as soon as developer fix the issue in the code, so he has to commit that code into a repository. Then as soon as the new code has been committed by the developer, new build or new exe file of a Notepad++ should be generated automatically. So this automation is done by the DevOps engineer. So as soon as that build is generated, then this should be available for the QA team to test again if that bug is really fixed or not. So then this is a DevOps role is collaborator. So it is like a orchestration of all the teams. Like if you are a DevOps engineer, then you have to collaborate with developers, you have to collaborate with QA team, you have to collaborate with SRE. Again, you have to collaborate with product owners, scrum masters, everyone in the software development lifecycle phase. Who are the stakeholders? The DevOps engineer is a person who will collaborate with each other. So this is a very nutshell. I just given 1,000 feet overview of a role of a DevOps engineer. So you can see using a picture, like let's say how it came, like how DevOps team form. So let's say these are the two developers, John and Wine, and they working on a fixing of a code. Like they develop apps, maintain code, fix bugs. So these are their responsibility. Then operation team is responsible, monitor system health, deploy apps, and operate the infrastructure. And then what they did they merge the responsibilities and jobs of a developers and operation team and they created a DevOps team. So now here this team is responsible of all the responsibilities which were the part of developer team as well as operation team. So now it you can see how DevOps team comes. So DevOps is made from the two words abbreviation developers and operations. So now this way the DevOps team can be formed. Okay. So now we will see what is the importance of DevOps. So it is a DevOps is a practice. Like we follow the agile methodology. Same thing, DevOps is a practice, is a methodology that promotes a collaboration between development and operation team. This allows deploying code to production faster and in an automated way. It helps to enable rapid deployment of products. So now you can think if we are doing the manually builds, so then there is a dependency. Like the person should be available, then he will have to give some commands, then the new build will be created. But think if we created this automation process, and that is the role of DevOps engineer, then let's say the builds can be automatically created. So you can create a hourly build, you can create a weekly builds, you can create a daily build, or you can create a morning build and night builds. So that you can think of like how the speed of a software development lifecycle get increased. So that's why the it is very much in demand. So let's think of what are the benefits of following a DevOps practice in your software company or any software company. So first thing is a reliability, then reduce the time to recover, efficiency, lower risk, shorter development lifecycle, stability, faster updates, better user experience, fewer failures, higher quality, faster product delivery, and cost savings. So how cost gets saved? So if we are using a manual testing and we are doing the automation testing, so how cost get increased? How cost get reduced? The same way, if you are following DevOps practices, the cost saving is done very in huge amount because in automation there is no manual intervention required until and unless it has failed. And though we do a lot of automation, it is going to fail. And that's why DevOps engineer is required. So now you will think like if we have done automation, all of automation, and then company will ask me to do automate, and once I automate, company will me throughout. But the thing is, though you have done lot of automation, it will not succeed all the time. It is going to fail. So whenever it is going to fail, then a human intervention is required to fix that. And that's why DevOps jobs are secure in the industry, and it has a huge demand in terms of any software other development. So now you can see we have used a chat gpt. The chat gpt is able to write the codes. Then you may think like people will think like then developers jobs are in stake. Same thing you will think like if everything is going through chat gpt and all, then why these roles are required? Because the automation you have done, like even you know, you may have, if you have automation testing background, you write the automation test cases and you think it gets failed, then again you have to fix it, you have to make the correction to it. So that's why these jobs are always safer, and these are not going to replaced. So then here, who can learn DevOps? So first of all, everyone is welcome to learn the DevOps practices, because here people think being a DevOps engineer, if I don't need to write a code, then DevOps career is best for me. But you have to learn the tools. Here, there are very important tools, and that tools you need to learn and master those tools. And these tools we will going to see what are the tools. So how anyone can start his career journey as a DevOps career. So first of all, the person need to have a good Linux basics. So Linux basics is must have skill for a DevOps engineer, because due to security, Windows servers and Linux server. So when it comes to security, everyone know Linux servers are more secure. Then all the production servers are used Linux servers. And the second thing, Linux servers are open source. So the company don't need to pay extra cost for the licenses of those servers. And then you have to learn the scripting. So here the people who think I don't like coding, so should I join DevOps? But then there is a twist. You don't need to write a code like a developer does, but you need to good in a scripting language. So what is scripting language? Anyone know? Let me know in the comments if you have any idea. Yes or no. If you know scripting language, type yes. If you don't know scripting language, type no. I want responses so that I can elaborate it more depending on your knowledge. Okay, so I can see the mixed responses. Someone are saying no, someone is saying yes. So scripting languages are like English statements. If you can read the English statements and you can understand English statements, you can do the scripting. So this is a very straightforward. So you need to learn those scripting languages. So first is a bash script that is used for Linux configuration or of a server. Then you need to learn the Git. So Git, and then there is a configuration management tools. You have to learn CI/CD pipelines, monitoring, and cloud at containers. So this is a roadmap of a DevOps engineer, how you can start your journey. So first of all, you need to start with Linux. So then you can see these are the tools. Like if you will see in DevOps, there are all the tools. The DevOps is all about learning the tools. So the first development tools, automation tools, quality control, and then CI/CD pipelines, source code, version controlling, infrastructure as code. So these are the multiple tools which you need to know to be a DevOps engineer. So now here you can see this is a infinite loop, just like agile method. So first thing, it starts with the coding, then planning, then monitoring, operating, deploy, release, test, build, code. So this is a never ending loop. And for every operation, we have some tools. So let's see what are the tools. So you can see these are the tools for coding. Like we have, as I told, like source code management. So these are the GitLab, Git, these are the tools. For deploying the application, you need to learn a cloud or Docker. So then AWS Docker. Then for configuration, you have to learn Chef, Ansible, Kubernetes. For monitoring purpose, again, there are tools, Grafana, Graylog. And for release or pipelines, Jenkins is there. For So these are the multiple tools. For monitoring also, there are multiple tools. So here, if you see the list, so there are 30 to 40 tools. But do you need to learn all the tools? The answer is no. You must have the knowledge about a tool. Let's take a simple example. You don't know how to drive a car. What you do? You go to the learning school, and then in learning school, you either learn sedan car, hatchback, or SUV. So, is it, tell me, if you know how to drive SUV, do you again need to learn how to drive sedan or hatchback? Type yes or no in the comment, guys. If you know how to drive a car, let's say you go to driving school, you learn how to drive a hatchback. So, and you purchased a SUV. So, do you need to again go to the driving school and learn how to drive SUV? I want answer from everyone because this is a simple question. I can see only two to three. Yes, I want responses from everyone, guys. Your engagement is very important. Okay, so you come to know? No. Same thing. In DevOps also, you don't need to learn all the tools, but there are the main basic tools, core tools that you need to learn. So once you learn those tools, then using that knowledge, you can learn the other tools automatically. For example, let's take a simple example. You have a car. Let's take a latest car. Which is latest car in the market launched recently? Let me know in the comments. Which is the latest car launched by Tata, Mahindra, Volkswagen? Let me know in the comments. Which is the latest car which is launched in the market? I want answers from you guys. Which is the latest car? Or okay, tell me the favorite your favorite car in the comment box. Which is your favorite car? Type any. Okay, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this is a very simple question. See, why I am asking the question, because the DevOps role is all about collaboration. You need to speak with everyone in your developer team, QA team, everyone. So if you don't responsive, then you will not learn the DevOps practices. Okay, I can see the responses Baleno, Creta. Okay, so let's say you have a new car, Creta, and you want to hire a driver. Okay, and that driver has driven Baleno, Scorpio, and he have never driven a Creta. So will you hire him or not as your car driver? But he have never driven a Creta, but he have driven other cars like Baleno, Scorpio, Fortuner, but he have never driven a Creta. So will you hire him or not as a driver job on your personal driver? Yes. So I can see everyone is saying yes. Okay, someone is saying no. Okay. So you can see here what you will do. He has a capability of a driving car. Though he have never driven a Creta, he have driven other cars. So you know he has the basic knowledge of how to drive a car. So based on that, you will going to hire him as your personal driver. Same thing. If you going for any interview and you don't have worked on that tool, but you have worked on a similar tool. Let's take example. You have worked on a GitHub and that company is working GitLab. But if you have worked on a GitHub, not necessary you should have worked on GitLab. But even you, if you can impress your interviewer with your knowledge of GitHub and you can give him a trust, like I have knowledge of Git and GitHub, I can easily work on a GitLab. Then you will get hired. The same thing, you have to apply the real time scenario in your practice. So let's see what we are going to learn in this DevOps. So first, as I told, Linux, because we are working on a Linux servers. So now here we are using a mouse, keyboard. We have a lot of user of using of a graphical user interface that we call GUI tools. But when it comes to Linux server, they don't have a graphical user interface. Linux completely operate on a command line. And that's why Linux is more powerful. Why it is powerful? Because we can automate all the processes using command line. And the execution of that is a faster. So first we will have in our course Linux basics. So that we need to learn. Then we will learn Git and GitHub. So Git is a source version control tool. For example, whatever code is done by the developer, it needs to be saved somewhere. So how to save that code or how to manage that code? So in for that case, Git comes into the picture. And now Git is working on your local laptop or local machine. But let's say you are working on a company where you have your counterpart at US, Europe, and then this code need to share with other developers as well. Then we have to host that code on a platform like a GitHub, GitLab. So then we are going to learn Linux basics. Then we will learn the Git, how to manage the source control. Then we will learn how to manage the remote repositories that we will cover in GitHub. Then we will learn Azure DevOps. So Azure DevOps is a tool. Okay, so there is a little bit confusion. There are a course, they say AWS DevOps means they are implementing DevOps practices using AWS cloud. Similarly, people implement the DevOps practices using Azure cloud. But as you know, the DevOps is the keyword, which is a buzzword or it is a very popular. So Microsoft has their tool, CI/CD tool. So they give a name it as a Azure DevOps. So this is the name of a tool. So if you have heard the name of a Jenkins, so this is a similar tool to the Azure DevOps is a similar to the Jenkins. Then we will learn Terraform. Terraform, as I said earlier, the role of DevOps is automate the processes. For example, if you have to create EC2 instance in AWS, if you go manually, you will need 2 minutes to create EC2 instance. You need to configure the multiple parameters and then you will able to create the EC2 instance. But when you are using a tool like Terraform, so you can create that tool within a 2 lines of code or 3 lines of code, and that can be created automatically and you can delete it once your task is done. So Terraform is a tool which is used for the creating the cloud infrastructure. Then there is a Docker. So Docker is a containerization part, how to create the images that we will see. And then to manage all the Docker images, we need an orchestration tool, and that is called as a Kubernetes. So that we will cover, and then we will have a projects. So all these tools first, we will learn all the tools one by one, and then we will implement our learning in a project. So because in the real time, if you are joining any company as a DevOps engineer, so you have to start working on the projects. So then if you have knowledge about all these tools, Linux, Git, GitHub, Azure DevOps, Terraform, Docker, Kubernetes, then you have to implement those knowledge into a projects. So we will have a project from scratch. We will create a project where we will automate the things and we will deploy it successfully. For example, that at the beginning of the class, I have taken the example of creating a website. So we will collect the source code from the developers repository. Then we will create a build. We will use a Terraform to create the cloud infrastructure. Then we will host it on a cloud, and then we will manage it using a Kubernetes. And then there are some monitoring tools that we will also cover in the syllabus. But the important about the monitoring tools and all that you can learn within 1 or 2 days. With that we will cover in the projects. But the tools which takes a time for learning, so these are the tools which will take a major time for learning. So this is about a syllabus. So let's see DevOps as a career. Okay. So you can see this is a Naukri. So everyone knows about the Naukri platform. So if you just see the roles about DevOps. So here I have just typed a DevOps and just click a search. And you can see there are the location wise openings. You can see every location. So it doesn't matter which part country you are. You can see the cities like small cities like Nashik, these are also having the openings of a DevOps engineer like Nagpur, Surat, Mohali. So everyone is looking for a DevOps job. And you can see the number of openings. If you think of Pune, there are 14,579 openings. If you think of Bengaluru, you can see there are 32,967 openings. So you can see the packages also, what packages they are offering. So then based on your experience, If you are a totally fresher, if you are working somewhere, what is your current CTC? Based on all those factors, you will get the salary after completing this course. Then you can see the company types like foreign MNC, corporate, Indian MNC, that you can see. Okay. And then there is one interesting topic which I would like to show, the projection of a DevOps engineer. So if you see, this is article, I will share this link with you. So you can also read this in depth whenever you have a time. So this is a report published by Fortune Business Insights. And in that report, you can see the projection of a DevOps career. So it has shown the study from 2015 to 2026, and you can see the graph, the how the DevOps requirement, engineer requirement is going to high. So this is a report of a North America, and you can see global DevOps market share by industry, and this is a 2018 report, means before pandemic. And after pandemic, everyone, even your a small kirana vendor wants to have his online presence. And that's why everyone is moving to the DevOps career, and all companies are started following DevOps practices. So let's talk about India. So you can see this is a forecast period. So 2025 to 2029 market size. So you can see this is a 2023 report, 3.3 billion US dollar. So this is a market size of 2023. And in 2024 to 2029, you can see the 21.1% increase is expected in this DevOps industry. So why this is a huge demand? Because now after pandemic, everyone wants his online presence. So everyone is looking for their online presence. So lot of companies are there, lot of opportunities are there, and DevOps engineer is a critical role. Like it is not a role of which can be laid off easily, because you are the one who are responsible to keep application alive. So whenever layoff happens, you can see the developers will get laid off, the other people will get laid off, but DevOps engineers are the support team. So if you, let's say you have working on any company and you have worked for 2 to 3 years, so you know in and out about your product, how to host that application, where it is located, and you become irreplaceable. You cannot be easily replaceable in any company, because even if, let's say, there is a DevOps engineer working in the company for 2 to 3 years, he knows where the servers are hosted, how infrastructure is designed, and let's say they try to replace it with a new engineer, 10 to 15 years experience. He cannot immediately start taking care of it until and unless he understands the whole infrastructure. So that's why the DevOps roles are more secure in the industry. So here we discussed about jobs, what are the jobs, and then DevOps role gives you the flexibility to work as a remote jobs. So you can see these are the syllabus, like these are the tools which we are going to cover. So remote opportunities. So the thing is, DevOps is a high paying job. When it is high paying job, if you are having the all industry standard skill set, then your job is a high paid job. So the companies which are like startup, they cannot afford all high paying employees. So what they do, they start giving the some task to the freelancers. So then this is also a very good opportunity for you, as well as now here after pandemic, the world has came online. So now you can sit in India, you can be at your home, and you can work for a US based company or Europe based company working as a remote. So that is possible. Why it is possible? Because DevOps engineers, 90% of the times, the companies have their cloud infrastructure. So when it is a cloud infrastructure, it doesn't matter you are working in US or working in India, because you can access that whole infrastructure from your laptop. So there are very few companies, they are use the on premises, and then that in that case only a physical engineer is required to manage that. And that too are very like where the domains where security is most concerned, In that case, only you have to go to the office. But 80% or 80 to 90% of the times, all DevOps engineers are working on a cloud platform. So it may be AWS, it may be Azure, it may be GCP, it may be IBM, or it may be any cloud which is coming. But here, as I given the example, if you know any car, then you can drive other cars as well with that experience. So if you are good with any cloud, let's say you get a good expertise on AWS or Azure, then you can work on GCP, IBM cloud, or any cloud. So if you have no the UTHO, UTHO cloud. So this is an Indian brand who have started a cloud services providing. So the key principle remains the same. So that's why, irrespective of cloud platform, if you know the tool set, how to use those tools, you can be a successful DevOps engineer. But here you can see the lot of good packages are there, lot of good opportunities there, but still there is a need of commitment from your side of a practice. Because if you are not practicing, then you cannot master. So the only one commitment from a learners is required practicing the tools. If you are ready to spend 1 to 2 hours daily on the tools which we have learned in the live batch, then you are good and you can see the lot of opportunities in the. And I have given you the live session. Like I have shared the live websites live. I have shown the Naukri.com live website. What I can search, you can search it. You can search also. So I will pause here and I will open the forum for question and answers. If you have any questions regarding the syllabus, you can ask me and I will answer your questions. So this was a
Yeah.
very
Uh,
uh,
Thank you, Sanjay. It's good information about DevOps and syllabus and all. Thank you so much for the information, guys. If you have any questions, okay, Sanjay, I think you are telling something. Sorry.
no, you can continue.
Okay, guys, if you have any doubts and questions, you can ask. Before that, I will ask question, Sanjay.
Sure.
So, how easy for non-programming candidates this is DevOps? Like, I'm feeling very difficult in understanding the core Java or .NET and all things. Uh,
Okay. Okay. I will answer it very straightforward. If you are busy, everything is easy. If you are busy, everything is easy. If you are lazy, nothing is easy. S- So
Okay.
I will tell. So it's a very good question, and it is. I know this question. A lot of participants are also having this question. Like, I don't understand Java. I don't understand. So here I told in the session, like, you don't need to learn a core Java. You don't learn to need .NET. You don't learn to need Android for creating the builds, because our task is creating a builds. So let me show you a very live example. So you can see this is github.com. Okay. So if I go to GitHub, everyone know Notepad++. So this is an open source application, right? So this is an official document, or this is official Notepad++ directory. So you can see this is a source code where it has given the all code developer created by the developers. And then how to create the build. So you can see the build Notepad++. If you see this is a build guide, go to here, build guide. And these are the steps, prerequisites. So what you need to do, you should be able to configure these parts. And if you are able to configure the build parts, then these are the commands which you need to run. And using those commands, you will able to create the build. And what will be the result? Let's say this is a source code. Okay. So here, irrespective of which language it is used, we don't need to worry. We should be able to read the steps, read documentation. If you come here, you can see it has used C++, HTML, C, Python, Makefile, Objective C++. That much of technical code stack is used to design a Notepad++. So now what you will do as a DevOps engineer, come to the official website, Notepad++. So everyone know, download Notepad++. So what you do whenever you have to install, you click here and click on install. So what you get a exe file. So this is a DevOps engineer's job. So this we called it as a build. So it is a desktop application that, and it is going to work on a Windows platform. That's why it is .exe. If it is going to use on Mac OS, Linux, then it is going to be different format. If it is a web application, then it will be a jar war files. So like this here, if you have to create the builds, you don't need to learn those many tools like C++ and, but what you will need to learn, you should be learned in a scripting language. So scripting language like Bash, you need to learn. If you learn Python, then you will get an added advantage, because Python also, Python is a language which helps for every engineer. And now you can see the boom of Python is very huge, and it is up to you. So let's me take give a simple example. Let's stick to our example, a car driver. You know there are car drivers. What is the average salary of a car driver? Tell me in the comments, guys. What is the average salary of car driver? If you want to hire, how much salary you are going to offer him? So he is a car driver, right? So what is the average salary in India? It is at 15 to 20,000 roughly, right? But have you checked the car driver salary of Mukesh Ambani? Have you checked the car driver salary of Salman Khan? Have you checked the car driver salary of any businessman? So you will come to know they charge more than 1 lakh rupees. Do you agree with me or not? Yes or no in the comment, guys. Or take example, you go to the haircut. Okay, you go to the haircut to the normal barber shop. You pays 150, 200 rupees, right? But if you go for same haircut, who is a celebrity haircut specialist, how he will charge? He will charge you 50,000 rupees. Do you agree with me or not? See, you are going to get a same chair, same scissor he is going to use, same comb he is going to use. But though he is a driver of celebrity driver, he is getting 1 lakh rupees salary. And he is a normal driver, he is getting 20,000 rupees salary. So here, if you learn scripting languages, if you give some extra value to the company, like these are the tools. If you don't want to learn scripting language, even you will get a job, but then there will be limitation of your salary, because here I have given the tools. So in the MNCs, there are the positions only Git engineers. So they don't need, you should have a Docker Kubernetes knowledge. If you very good in Git, that is also fine for them. They will give you job for Git only. Or here, whatever tools which we have shown you, for every tool, there is a requirement of a specialist. So if you know only Docker, you will be only responsible to create the Docker images. You don't need to know about Kubernetes. You don't need to know about Azure DevOps. But then you should be such a master, like you knowledge of that should be very good, and you should be able to deliver it, whatever in the case. So depend on the companies. So for example, if you're targeting for a small startup companies, then you will do work of a DevOps engineer, you will work as a SRE engineer, and you will work as a cloud operation engineer as well. Because here, just like depend on which company you are applying and what skill set you have. So this is vary one to one. So as I give an example of a car driver, there are normal car drivers which get 20 to 50,000. But if he is a celebrity car driver, he gets the salary of lakh. Why he get that extra salary? And everyone will agree with me, right? If you are going to uh, normal hair cutting salon, you will pay 150, 200 rupees. And if you go for a Javed Habib, then you will pay extra. The same thing, it's you to decide where I want to work and which company I want to work. So based on that, the level of your effort should be high. So that is the moral. And DevOps is all about learning yourself, updating yourself, upscaling yourself. Because there were a tool called a Chef. So Chef was a tool which is used a configuration management tool. But now in the industry, no one uses Chef. So now everyone is switched to the Ansible. Same thing now, we are using a Terraform. After 5 years, after 10 years, Terraform may not be using. We have to shift to the another tool. So that is the continuous learning process. So CI/CD means continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment. Same way as a DevOps engineer or any engineer, it is not applicable for DevOps. It is Prabhu, you can agree with me. It is applicable for automation testing. It is applicable for manual testing. It is applicable for developers as well.
Yes, yes.
So if you are not upgrading yourself with the time, then you will be out of the IT industry. So this is a rule of IT industry. You have to keep upgrading yourself.
This
Okay.
this I tell to my candidates every time, every day.
Yes.
We have to
Yes.
update our skill set based on the market requirement.
Yes.
Okay. And one
Okay.
more question, Sanjay.
Mhm.
I mean, do we get a freelance projects to work if we get a time side by side on this DevOps and all, or we need to go for companies itself?
Yeah, we can, like you are asking for learners of learners.
Learners
Yeah,
point of
yeah,
view.
yeah. But learners will get a free. Uh, Definitely, they will get freelancing projects. But again, there is a struggle initially. So there is a concept called a sell yourself. For example, now you give me a name of a car. How you came to the name of that car? Because you have see the ads, you have watched on YouTube everywhere. The same thing, you need to sell yourself. Then the company will apply, reach out to you. So that is very important aspect. For example, LinkedIn. Like if you have a LinkedIn account and you are continuously posting about any tool, so the recruiter also get your attention to you. And I will tell you, for us to get job is very easy, like applying job very easy. But this is a very difficult for recruiters, because you will see, if any company applies for opens for a position, then recruiter has to search the right candidates. And let's say recruiters asked 10 candidates for interview and panel rejected all those candidates, then it is a problem and challenge for recruiter also. So here, recruiter also, let's think of, in recruiters, let's put yourself in the recruiter's hat. Everyone wants his job to be easy, right? But this is not a easy, guys. So again, this is a challenge for recruiters also, to get the right candidate, right talent for the interviews. So if you are good selling yourself, then you will get a freelancer jobs as well. But you have to showcase your work. For example, if you are going to the any, let's say you have to hire an architect to renew your construction. What you will ask, show me the your sample projects, show me your work, what you have done in your last clients. And you will visit, and if you like the quality of implementation, you will not negotiation with the cost. Once you impressed, you will be ready, because you know you are getting a value. So you will think this is a better. Same thing, if you have to start working on a freelancer projects, so you have to start showcasing your knowledge on a social media, like LinkedIn is the best node. Then there are other tools where you can write your articles everywhere, so that you will get attention of a recruiters. And nowadays, I will tell you honestly, if you have a right skill set, if you have a right attitude, then getting job is very, very easy. Earlier, we don't have access to social media. We don't having the access to the uh, Naukri or LinkedIn platforms. So, and even we don't have a platforms to showcase our talent. But now in this era, knowledge is free, but knowledgeable person are not. So if you are able to showcase your talent on a platforms, then you will get easily job, because everyone is looking for the great candidates. So you can see the people who are getting placed from IITs and IIMs, they are getting a package of crores being a fresher. And for a normal college, they are struggling to get a 3 LPA and 5 LPA. So what is the difference between that? So that we need to find out. And it is not like IIT is having the extra brain in his head. He has the same brain, and which we have. But the thing is, he has trained his brain in a different way. That's why he is successful. So if you scan your brain, even if you keep a brain of Elon Musk or Bill Gates, he has same power as we have. But the thing is, our area of interest is different, and that's why we are not that much successful like other people's. So if we start training ourselves to success, we will be successful. Let's take a very simple example. If you want to bake world's best pizza, okay, what you will need to do, you need to find out the person who makes the world's best pizza, and you have to take a recipe from him. If you copy his recipe, you will be able to make the world's best pizza. Same thing applies here. If you want to get a successful career, you have to start following the successful people and the steps which they have followed. And now with the social media, everything is available. So you can cross check the values. Like here now, I cannot lie to you. Like we cannot make a false promises, because every the sources which I have accessed in front of you, you are also having access to that. Okay. So you have, if you have any questions, students, please don't hesitate to ask. If it may be any question, because the same questions other students are also thinking.
Yes, guys, please ask the question. We are running out of time. We have another session. Can you please tell us more about projects, Danish?
Okay. So projects, for example, let's say we have learned these tools, uh, Git, GitHub, Azure DevOps, Terraform, Docker, Kubernetes. So we need to bundle it, and then we will use all the knowledge in a project, and then you will have the experience, and even you can put those projects on your resume as well, because we will have the industry standard projects, so that you will have the real time experience of working in industry. And after completing this course, you can showcase 2 years to 3 years of experience of a DevOps.
That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Rahul has some
what
question.
about duration? Yeah, sorry. Someone is asked about duration. Sanjay, what would be the
Okay.
duration?
Yeah.
You can tell in terms of hours.
Yeah. So if we start Monday to Friday every day 1 hour, so it will take 3 to 3.5 months.
Okay, means almost 60, sorry, 60 plus
Uh,
hours.
yes.
Okay,
Start. Mm,
okay. It's around 60 hours, guys.
yeah.
Sheetal, Poonam.
I, yeah. And why, like I will say Monday to Friday, because I want, like if you are working, if you have any other commitments, so you should have a time for practice of a week. Let's say whatever we learned from Monday to Friday, if you are not able getting time to everyday practice, you should practice it out Saturday, Sunday. That's why I recommend Monday to Friday, so that you can cope up with the syllabus.
Ravindra, Rahul, Rachna, Daneshwari, Danappa, Akshay, Ajay, Aditya, Sanjay. You can ask the question if you have any. Mahesh, Virendra. Okay, I'll stop recording so that you can ask the question. Will you cover Python? Sheetal. Oh,
Uh, Python will not be covered here, because Python itself is a huge topic. So we can think of another batch for Python, and it will take almost 50 hours again for Python. Because I am just explaining you, like it is very easy to tell like how it is, but I want you should be able to do what you have learned.
switching from QA to DevOps, what could be the challenges?
So actually, there are no challenges at all, and I will tell you the one advantage to you if you are working in QA, and you want to learn the DevOps, so you can uh, project your resume as a principal architect, because principal architect in QA, so that you can so this will be added advantage to you, so you don't need to switch to the DevOps role. Being a QA engineer, you can switch to the your career as a principal architect, because you know the DevOps practices, and for that you don't need to have the very good practice on DevOps tools, but you should have the at least basic understanding of DevOps tools and practices. So this will be the added advantage to you, your profile, if you know the DevOps practices.
Okay. Guys, anyone, any doubts?
Okay, if you like the session, type yes. If you didn't like, type no. So that okay, if you like the session, then you should have a questions, or you have got cleared all the doubts. Like that, we can conclude like that. Okay. So everyone saying you like the session, good. Okay. Okay, got clear all doubts. Naneshwar. Okay, thanks. So this was a very 1,000 feet overview of a DevOps, guys, because within 1 hour to cover all it is not possible. When we will start actual batch? from Linux, you will see how we are having. So that all about details, Prabhu will inform you, like when we are going to start batches and what will be the timing. Okay.
First 2 to 3 demo sessions will be free, and course fees, and we need to check with the market. Okay, we'll do the analysis. What are all the other institutes are charging? Definitely, it will be minimal or same or equal to other institutes. We have a good industry expert trainer. That's fortunate. Okay, we'll inform the course fees also. Okay. Yes, any other questions? And anyone who has already completed the course here? Okay.
I think no one is completed here because everyone said for listening DevOps term for the first time. So,
I can see one person, but he's not able. He is not talking at all.
okay,
Anyway, it's fine. If he wants, then I can connect him in conference.
okay.
Yeah, Virendra, you can speak. You can unmute and you can speak if you have any doubts. Okay, fine then. Uh, Fine. Your silence. I assume that you don't have any questions. Okay. चलो फिर see you. Bye bye. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you
Yeah,
for your time.
thank you everyone for the time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye bye. Take care,
bye bye.
everyone. Bye bye.